Hello and welcome. Before we begin today's story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write in the comments where in the world you are watching from. Listening to stories like this one is a powerful way to improve your English. The more you listen, the more you understand. And the more you understand, the more confident you become. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. Let's begin. When Daniel was 22 years old, he found himself stuck in life. He had graduated from university with a degree in marketing, but he didn't feel ready for the world. Every morning, he would wake up feeling tired, even though he had slept for 8 hours. He scrolled on his phone for hours, watching random videos and reading messages that didn't matter. Time passed, but he wasn't moving forward. Daniel had many dreams. He wanted to start his own business, get fit, travel the world, and become someone others respected. But every time he tried to begin something, he lost focus after a few days. He didn't understand why this kept happening. He thought he was lazy, but deep down, he knew that wasn't the full truth. He just didn't have discipline. One day, Daniel met his old friend, Sarah. They hadn't seen each other in over a year. Sarah was different now, calm, focused, and happy. She had opened her own graphic design studio, and her work was going well. She looked healthy, confident, and peaceful. They met for coffee, and after some time, Daniel asked, "How did you change so much? You used to be just like me." Sarah smiled and replied, "I built self-discipline. It wasn't easy, but it changed everything." Daniel was curious. "What do you mean by self-discipline?" he asked. Sarah leaned forward and said, "It's the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. I started small. I created habits. And slowly, I became stronger." That conversation stayed with Daniel for days. He couldn't stop thinking about it. That night, he looked in the mirror and asked himself, "What do I really want?" He took a notebook and wrote down 5 goals. 1. Wake up early. 2. Exercise 5 times a week. 3. Work on his business idea for 1 hour every day. 4. Read 1 book a month. 5. Stop wasting time on his phone. The next morning, he tried to wake up at 6 a.m. It was hard. His bed was warm, and his body didn't want to move. But he remembered Sarah's words. He forced himself to get up and go for a walk. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. The first week was difficult. Every part of Daniel wanted to give up. His mind kept saying, "Why are you doing this? No one cares. You're not strong enough." But every time he heard that voice, he answered it with action. He went for his walk. He turned off his phone. He sat down to read, even if it was only 5 pages. At night, he wrote in his journal and reminded himself why he started. "I want to be better. I want to feel proud. I want to build my future." After 2 weeks, something began to change. He felt more awake in the morning. His body started to feel stronger. He had more energy and more control over his time. He was still not perfect, but he could see progress. The small victories gave him hope. He wasn't just dreaming anymore, he was doing. Daniel's biggest challenge was his business idea. He had wanted to start a social media marketing service for small businesses. Before, he only talked about it. But now, every day, he worked on it. At first, he only researched. Then he built a website. He created a simple logo. He reached out to a few local shops and offered to help them for free to get experience. The first few people said no. It hurt, but he didn't stop. He remembered that discipline means continuing even when it's hard. On the 10th day, a small coffee shop replied and said yes. That one, yes, changed everything. Daniel worked hard to help that coffee shop grow their social media. He took pictures, wrote captions, made videos, and watched how their followers grew. The owner was impressed and paid him a small amount. It wasn't much, but it was real. For the first time, Daniel was earning money from something he had created by himself. That night, he walked around his neighborhood, smiling and feeling alive. It wasn't just about money, it was about progress. However, discipline isn't something you build once. You have to protect it. One weekend, Daniel's friends invited him to a beach trip. He said yes, but forgot to plan his days. He drank too much, slept late, and didn't exercise. When he came back, he felt terrible. He had broken his rhythm. For 3 days, he struggled to return to his routine. That's when he learned something important. Discipline is a daily decision. It can be lost quickly if you're not careful. So he made a new rule. Every Sunday night, he planned his week. He wrote down his goals, blocked time for each task, and made sure he protected his habits. Over the next few months, Daniel's life began to transform. He woke up early almost every day. He started to enjoy the silence of the morning, the feeling of moving his body, the focus during his work. His phone use dropped by 70%. He even replaced his phone screen with a quote, "Discipline is freedom." When he felt tired or unmotivated, he read that quote. Slowly, his business grew. He got 2 more clients and started earning enough to pay for his rent. He still had doubts sometimes, but he had learned how to stay focused. One evening, Daniel was sitting at a small cafe. He looked around and noticed how different he felt. The people around him were rushing, distracted, or stressed. But he felt calm. He wasn't perfect, and he still had a long way to go. But he trusted himself now. He had learned something many people never do, how to stay committed even when it's boring, uncomfortable, or hard. And that, he realized, was the real meaning of success. The story didn't end there. Daniel still had bad days. There were mornings he didn't want to get up. Sometimes he skipped a workout or wasted a little too much time. But he didn't let those moments destroy his progress. He forgave himself and started again. That was another lesson Sarah had taught him. Self-discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about coming back again and again, no matter how many times you fall. Eventually, Daniel started sharing his story on social media. He didn't pretend to be a guru or an expert. He simply talked about his journey, how he had built discipline, how it changed his life, and how anyone could do it if they really wanted to. People started listening. They related to his struggles. Some of them even started following his routines. It felt good to help others. He wasn't just building a business anymore. He was building a message. After 6 months of steady progress, Daniel felt stronger and more confident than ever before. His morning routine was almost automatic. He woke up at 6 a.m., drank a glass of water, spent 10 minutes meditating, then went for a 30-minute run. After a healthy breakfast, he sat at his desk and worked on his projects. This habit chain gave him stability and energy. Yet he knew real discipline meant more than routines. It meant facing unexpected trials and staying committed when life got messy. One spring morning, Daniel received an email that tested his focus. His mother had fallen ill and needed help at home for a few weeks. He felt torn. Should he pause his business and travel back to his hometown? Or should he keep working and send money? His heart said to care for his mother, but his mind worried about losing momentum. Daniel sat with this dilemma for hours. He tried his usual habit of journaling, but the words felt empty. He realized that discipline also meant making hard decisions aligned with his values. Finally, Daniel booked a train ticket. He informed his clients that he would be less available, but promised to deliver on time. He packed his bags, filled with work materials, and boarded the train. For the next 3 weeks, he cared for his mother by day and worked by night. It was exhausting. Some nights he fell asleep at his laptop. Some mornings he hit snooze and skipped his run. But he refused to give up entirely. He reduced his goals. Instead of 1 hour of business work, he did 30 minutes. Instead of running 30 minutes, he walked for 15. He adjusted his plan, not abandoned it. This experience taught Daniel an important lesson. Self-discipline isn't rigid. It's flexible. Life will throw you challenges, family needs, health issues, emergencies. Discipline means adapting your habits to new circumstances while holding on to your core purpose. When his mother recovered, Daniel returned to his city feeling proud. He had cared for family and kept his promise to his clients. His business had slowed a little, but it had not failed. Back at home, Daniel decided to deepen his practice. He introduced weekly reviews. Every Sunday evening, he sat with his journal and asked 3 questions. What went well this week? What did not go as planned? What is one thing I will improve next week? This ritual helped him stay aware of his progress and adjust his actions. It also strengthened his commitment. He could see exactly how far he had come. As the seasons changed, Daniel encountered new temptations. Social media ads, long video streams, late-night parties. Each one tried to pull him off course. At first, he resisted by sheer willpower. But he knew willpower was like a muscle. It could get tired. So he built systems to support his discipline. He installed an app that blocked distracting websites during work hours. He scheduled fun time on his calendar so he could enjoy social events without guilt. He joined a weekly running group to make exercise social and motivating. By creating an environment that supported his goals, Daniel made discipline easier. One afternoon, his friend Mark invited him to start a new business venture, an online course platform. Mark was charismatic and persuasive. He painted a picture of fast growth and big profits. Daniel felt excited, but also cautious. His instinct said yes, but his habits said focus on one thing at a time. He thought of his Sunday review question: what did not go as planned? He realized that every time he chased a shiny new idea, he left other projects incomplete. He decided to say no to Mark's offer. This was one of the hardest decisions he had made, turning down an opportunity from a friend. Yet it was vital to protect his focus. Saying no became another form of discipline. As months turned into a year, Daniel's business grew steadily. He had 3 regular clients, his income covered his needs, and he even started saving money. More importantly, he felt a sense of inner peace. He was not rushing from one goal to the next. He was living intentionally. He knew his values, family, health, creativity, and he aligned his daily actions with them. Daniel's journey also changed his relationships. His friends noticed his new habits. Some teased him. "You're such a morning person now." Others envied his focus. Sometimes they criticized, "You work too much." At first, their comments hurt. But Daniel learned to communicate his needs kindly. He explained, "I care about our time together, but I also need to protect my morning routine." True friends accepted this, and their relationships grew stronger. He also found new friends in professional groups who shared his commitment. One day, at a networking event, Daniel met a young man named Luis. Luis had big dreams but no plan. He worked at a dead-end job and wasted his free time on video games. Daniel remembered himself 2 years earlier. He felt empathy. He invited Luis to coffee and shared his story. He taught him the steps. Set clear goals, start with small habits, review progress weekly, adjust when life changes, build supportive systems, and say no to distractions. Luis listened carefully and decided to try. A month later, he messaged Daniel. I woke up at 7 every day, I studied English for 30 minutes, and I applied for a new job. I feel hopeful for the first time. Daniel realized that by living his discipline, he could inspire others. As the story draws to a close, let's remember the key lessons Daniel learned on his journey. 1. Start small. Choose one habit and do it consistently. 2. Track your progress. Weekly reviews keep you aware and accountable. 3. Adapt your plan. Life will change. Adjust your goals, don't abandon them. 4. Build supportive systems. Remove temptations and create structures that help you. 5. Learn to say no. Protect your focus by declining distractions. 6. Forgive yourself. If you slip, don't give up. Get back on track. 7. Inspire others. Share your journey and help friends build discipline too. Daniel's journey is not over. His goals evolve and he continues to refine his habits. But the foundation of self-discipline he built carries him forward. You too can take these steps and transform your life. Remember, discipline is not about perfection, it's about consistency and resilience. Each small decision to act moves you closer to your dreams. Thank you for listening. I hope Daniel's story inspires you to build your own self-discipline. Please like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which habit you will start this week. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next story.